Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another video. It's been a little bit since I've done one. And this time back with FSEconomy and the Cirrus SR20. We're at Las Vegas and getting ready for the final leg of the trip of bringing this plane to Hawaii. The next leg will be have someone ship it. But progressing nonetheless. So thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Got a lot of things to talk about today. Some changes to the system, updates. Been working hard on Ortho. Going to talk about that. What lessons learned, stuff like that. So, but yeah, we've got a pretty long flight today. So this might want to grab yourself a drink, either soft or hard, whatever you prefer. And we're gonna head out here, so yeah, looking forward to it. Jabby, thanks for joining the stream. You said you entered your own video. I'll have to check that out later. That's great. We're sitting here in the cargo area. Somehow we ended up there, or put us there, so it's just easy to get to the runway that's heading to the west. So not a complicated flight, but I'll go over the flight plan, and we're gonna make a little bit of money. Gonna make a stop at Palm Springs, which adds a little bit of time to the flight, but still want to make a little bit of money, which would be good. So, in any event, you can see the route up there in the upper left. That's Flight Plan Go. Unfortunately, Flight Plan Go still is not functioning. I'm gonna try one more time to make it work. Oh, let's just see. Gonna try one more time to make it work. Maybe we'll get lucky here. No. So it's a known issue. I've already contacted them and asked them about it, and they basically said that they're working on it. It's Flight Plan Go, folks. So hopefully they'll get it fixed. So yeah, I'm sure they will. Let me slow this speed a little bit here. All right, so let's get it. Let's get into what we're going to be doing here. Let's see. All right, so here's our flight plan. Sky Vector, heading from Lima Alpha. What is S? I always forget what LS is. Anyway, Las Vegas. Okay, gonna make a few twists and turns just to avoid some higher peaks, get us to Palm Springs, and then end up in Los Angeles International Airport via Honda. All right, so this should be a nice flight, and you're going to be able to see my new Ortho. I basically, for the last 2 days, I've been working on building out Ortho4XP again. I deleted everything I had, which was at zoom level 16. I'll talk about what I did there in a little bit, but hopefully we'll be able to enjoy some of those views. I'm sure I'll be able to see them a little bit better than you because I'm looking at them in VR, but I'll try to describe them as best I can. Anyway, that's our route. I've already used this tool here to download the FPL file to my computer, my PC, and then I used the FPL to FMS tool to convert it, and then loaded it into, I'll load it right into the GPS, so that should be nice and tight. As far as FSEconomy goes, we've got 138,000. Ran a couple of trips. Someone rented my Beechcraft, my C90, but they flew it like 250 miles and left it here, which I hate when people do that. That's why I have the bonus, so people will return it, but it's still sitting there. I eventually have to get this back to Charlotte, so I'll probably do a recovery flight at some point. And here's my SR20, still very low mileage or time on it. So when I bought it, it was 0, which is great. And yeah, so that's that on the plane side. Still have that C90 for sale, so lowered the price. It's $7.99. Okay, if you want to buy it. Anyway, so here we are at KLS. We're going to pick up 3 passengers to PSP. So we'll make it'll be about $2,400, something like that. Always try to go for the single passengers because you'll pay more. You can see here $895. Just gives you a little bit extra money. Okay, so let's add those to the assignment, and then we're going to rent. You have to rent it, but I already own it, so we'll just take our plane, go to my flight, and there we go. Oh, I got these in here from before. I'm going to get those. All right, so there's our flight. We got our 3 passengers, $2,300 total. Probably make 18, something like that. Okay. It's going to be the total. I forgot to show you that the total flight's 250 miles. So it's going to be a long one. But that's okay. When we get to PSP, unfortunately, there's no flights I can. I mean, I could go to KSAN. But I said I was going to go to LAX, so I'm going to LAX. I could go to KSAN and make a little bit of money, but I'm just going to go to LAX. There's no flights, unfortunately, from Palm Springs to LAX. So no opportunities there. So we've got we've got 3 passengers. We've got 250 miles, so we'll need 17 gallons. We got 27. I'm going to load her up with 40. What the hell? We need more gas. We can always get it. Okay, it's not that expensive, and it's always good to have the gas on board. So we're good. Gas. And that's about it. But before I do go, don't forget VR Aviators Group. Just go to Facebook, type in VR Aviators Group in the search, and it'll come up, and join up if you're interested in virtual reality flight simulation. We've passed the 200 member mark. Some really good conversations and stuff. And this is an interesting thing. Tom here purchased this Next Level Racing Motion platform, which looks absolutely amazing. The back of my mind, I'm like thinking about a way to possibly get one of these things. But we'll wait to hear from Tom on how that is. But that's the kind of stuff that we talk about on this Aviators Group. So make sure you check that out if you're interested in that. All right. Let's see what we got in the chat. Jappy, Christmas, he's getting a game computer. Awesome. All right. Anarcho-communist. Nobody cares. Okay. Thanks for being a troll, dude. Andy Fairhurst, looking forward to seeing your next Ortho work. Cool. Yeah, we're going to get to it in a few minutes. Turn this off here. All right. Yeah, so let's get in the plane. Now, I'm also running release candidate 2, X-Plane 11 11.10 RC2. I just downloaded it the other day, or yesterday, I should say. So let me get the plane started here. So we're one thing I love is the wobble is gone. You can see no more wobbling. It makes it so much better in VR. You have no idea. That wobbling was like, ugh, terrible. All right, so let's get this thing started up. So we're going to get mixture to full, power at 3/4. Let's get our batteries on. Open that door up. A little bit hot in here in Las Vegas. Everything coming up okay. Let's clear prop. And we got a good start. Get our lights on. And I'm not gonna need. I'm gonna fly pretty high today, so we'll get the pitot on. Yeah, we're gonna be flying at about 8,000 for a lot of this flight. Cool. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, let's go to our checklist. All right, we did all that stuff. That's before engine start. External panel disconnected, brakes are on hold, battery switches on. Already did all this stuff to start the engine. Well, actually, let's go back here. Altitude gyro is good. Compass is good. Mixture is full. Power lever. Power lever is good. Fuel pump. I have it all. You don't really need boost to start this plane, so I never put it on. Ignition switch good. Power lever. Oil pressure, we'll check those things in a few. Alts are on. Avionics on. Engine parameters. External power disconnected, and amps looking good. We'll check that again when we're done. So next, before taxi, we're going to do all that stuff in a few minutes here. So one thing I want to do is I want to load up my flight plan. Okay, flight plan is in and good. I like to where's my mouse? My mouse disappeared. There it is. I like to put the flight plan up on the PFD here, so I can just make sure it's in there, which it is. And we're going to set our transponder to altimeter. It always turns green. We're going to set our CDI to GPS, so that way it follows our flight plan when we put it on autopilot. Let's set the altitude to 8,000. Actually, I can use plane command. Set altitude to 8,000 feet.
Altitude set to 8,000 feet.
Isn't that easier? All right, so that's plane command. Wonderful. What else do we have to do here? I think we're set that way. Yeah, good to go. All right, so let's go to FSEconomy. Let's get that loaded up. Let's see, you guys can't see this, but I am loading up FSEconomy. Starting flight, 40 gallons. I got my assignments in. I'm cross-checking with FSEconomy, and it is in route. That is set to go. All right, plenty of gas. Let's just check our engine parameters. Power, good. RPM's good. Manifold pressure is good. Flow is low. Let's see. Oil pressure is good. Electrical looks all in the green. And we're good to go. Outside air temp's 51, so yeah, we got the heat on, so that's good. How could it be 51 in Las Vegas? That doesn't make sense. Maybe if I was using real world weather, it would be different. All right, let's get that door closed. Things quiet up a little bit. Seatbelt is fastened. And we're ready to taxi. Cool. We're not going to use radios here because it's a towered airport, and I would have to get clearance normally, but we're not going to go through that process here. It's going to turn around and take off and get this bird going towards California. Alright, but I can show you, I think if you look at the upper left, I can show you Flight Plan Go gives you airport diagram, and if connection between the connection between X-Plane 11 and Flight Plan Go was working, you'd see a little blue plane in here, but unfortunately it's not there. Again, hopefully that'll be fixed soon. Hey Brendan, how you doing? You got your Oculus Thursday. Awesome. What do you think? Love to hear what you think. All right, let's get taxiing here. I love this plane. My favorite plane to fly. Everything good? I can already see a difference. Now, this is the first time I've flown here since I upgraded the Ortho. And I can just from the ground, I can see a difference. Looks amazing. Right, there we go. There's a look at the airport. That's a pretty cool view right there. I love that prop. It looks so cool with those logos on, and I put that little green stripe on there when I did delivery. Thought that looked kind of cool. But yeah, everything was looking good. I actually got my scenery config file set up properly. All right, here we go. Here, let me just make sure. You're struggling with it, with all the dials and FMS, but making progress. Yeah, Brendan, I highly recommend Plane Command. Voice-activated commands. You can change things like with the radio, like watch, Setcom 1 to 123.5.
COM1 set to 123.5.
It'll make your life so much easier in VR. It just will. I know it's not realistic, but it makes your life a lot easier. All right, here we go. I believe it's planecommand.com, Brendan, if you want to check that out. All right, we're on the stripes. Piano keys, whatever you want to call them. There we go, baby. That's where we're taking off right there. That's a nice shot. Look at that. There's the airport. You can see Las Vegas in the background there. That's pretty cool. All right, here we go. We're going to assume run up. Okay, we got flaps to 50%. Let's get ourselves a little straightened down here. And here we go. Got plenty of runway. Looking for 65. And rotate, nice and easy up. Oh, looking good, baby. Good frame rates, 17, 18. All right, I'll take it. Not great, but what can you do? Fly the runway heading, get ourselves up to 85, and flaps will be off. All right, flaps up. Nose comes down a little bit. Airport looking very nice. Really nice. And we're going to have to vector over to the south a little bit. Heading to Palm Springs. I just want to get a nice look at Las Vegas before we go. There it is. All right, so a little bit about the Ortho project. Big difference. I'm noticing a big difference, and as we get higher up, it looks even more amazing. All right, so what I did this is part of the Pilot Edge ZLA area, which is basically their basic plan. Costs you $179 a year for that plan. My subscription's coming up. Actually, I'm on a monthly, but it's coming up, and I want to do a yearly soon. But in any event, it's $19 a month or $179 a year, which is definitely cheaper to go to $179. Let me get this on autopilot here. Autopilot on nav, and let's get the climb at 500 per minute. That'll be a nice, easy, soft climb, and that'll get us up to 8,000 pretty quickly. Get our flaps up. Let's get the, see if we can get more power. I'm just leaning the engine out, get a little bit, there's 89, 90. All right there's about the mark. I just look at the power rating, and as I pull the lean back, the power rate goes up, so get up there a little quicker. So anyway, I'm just taking this in. It looks pretty awesome. And as we get higher, it'll look even better. So the project that I put together, I bought myself a 6 terabyte hard drive. It's a WD Black, which is a high performance 7200 RPM drive. Installed it the other day, and let me just see if there's any questions before I get into that, because it's a long dissertation. Let's see. Andy, I generally fly T-172 and X-plane when using Oculus. I was amazed at how small the cockpit actually is. I didn't get... Yeah, it is. No, in Track IR you can't get that feeling because you're looking at 2D, but yeah, you get a good feel for the size of the cockpit, that's for sure. It's pretty amazing, and, you know, the difference, you know. Yeah, Brendan, as far as setting up FMS, I'm not the guy to ask that. I don't fly big iron at all, so I'm basically envious of that, and actually it's an area where I want to get into. But I'm strictly GA right now, so I really can't help you with the FMS. It's something I've got to spend time on. So anyway, let me talk about the Ortho, and as you can see, as we go up here, it's getting better and better and better and better. So I bought this hard drive, again, a WD Black 6 terabyte drive. I got it on sale. It was normally like $280, and I got it for like, with shipping and everything, I got it for $219 from Newegg, Black Friday deal. So that was awesome. Oh, look at that, man. Oh, it just looks awesome. So first I was going to basically do zoom levels of 17. And then, I forget who it was in the VR Aviators group. Can't remember his name. But anyway, I'll have to look and see. One of the guys there suggested, no, what you can do is you can do Z17 as your base, zoom level 17 as your base, and do higher zoom levels around airports, because that's where you're lower to the ground. And that's what I did. I did 17 base, and I did 18, 5 kilometers within the airport range. So as you get closer to the airport, it looks even more detailed. And I'm just looking out the window, and this is unbelievable. And it's made VR clearer, because obviously it's a higher zoom level. So it looks clearer in the headset. Now, right now, I'm probably going to be shifting over to Z17 after we get past this little brown area. But I mean, the stuff you can see, it just looks incredible. So I was set out on doing this, and I was like, all right, let me figure out how much space is gonna take, and it's a lot of space. The ZLA area for Pilot Edge, which is, I ended up doing 75 tiles, okay, to cover it, and that's like Southern California, out to Las Vegas, down to San Diego, up to like Fresno area. Around, that's like basically the area. It's a lot of area. It was 75 Ortho4XP tiles, and it took I think it was 536 gigabyte to generate that scenery, and it literally took 36 hours to create those 75 tiles. I mean, I did it in batches of like, the biggest batch I did was like 20 tiles, I think. Actually, no, I did a higher batch. I think I did a batch of like 50 tiles, which, believe it or not, I didn't have any problems with. I have a pretty good internet connection, and the server didn't time out on me at all, which was great. So, yeah, so it took 36 hours of batch jobs to create that Ortho. Now, if you're interested in Ortho4XP, I'll put a video in the chat. Let me see if I can find that video. That I used. Give me 1 second here. Just trying to find it. Okay.
Meet what?
It's called the X-Plane Ortho4XP Photoreal Scenery Full Tutorial, Part 1 and Part 2. You can search that on YouTube if you don't have a link. But for those watching right now, here's the link. Benefit of watching right now. Check that out, and that's a great tutorial to get you started with Ortho. All right, so I basically followed that. And there's a couple of others out there, too, that are helpful, that fill in some more specific gaps that help me, like making the water better coordinated between the base mesh and the Ortho4XP. There is a lot to it, I won't kid you. All right, you've got to do your research and figure out how to do it. Now, by the way, when you see that white blotch like that, that's usually because this is all based on satellite imagery, and that white blotch right there was probably a cloud that was in the way when the satellite took the picture that we're using for Ortho. So you're going to have that every so often. You're going to have those white blotches. I'm not sure if there's a way to fix that. I really don't care about it. I'm not that nitpicky about it. But yeah. So you need to do your research, and you need to figure out to learn how to do this before you do it. It can be complicated. It's not plug and play. Okay. Because I see a lot of people struggling with it. And it's natural. I had no idea how to do it before I started, and it's taken me literally 2 or 3 tries to kind of get it right, and I still think I can do some improvements. All right, and like there's some other complications, like the scenery config file that in your X-Plane custom scenery folder, that has to be in a specific order. Okay, to make sure that all this stuff works together. All the entries, like you have to have airports first. And then you have to have your elements like, taxiways and signs and stuff like that. And then you've got to have your Ortho. And then you've got to have your mesh. The mesh is last, because you build the Ortho on top of the mesh. But as you look into this, you're going to learn all about that. And again, there's a lot to it. And, search Google, because there's some folks out there that have really put the time to help others and put information together, and also search YouTube and watch all the tutorials you can, and you'll get better at it. And don't forget, I mean, you can it's only time. I know time is money to a lot of people, and me too. But if you don't get it right the first time, you can delete the tile and do it again. That's kind of the wonder of it. It just takes you a little time to do that. So, wow, that looks incredible. But it just makes the experience so much better. And I will tell you that I've flown an Aerofly FS2. When you're at zoom levels like 17 and especially 18, it's comparable to Aerofly in X-Plane. Aerofly is known for its scenery, that high definition scenery that they do. Was it Orthex or whatever it is? I forget the name of the company that they use to do that. But when you use Ortho4XP at high zoom levels, especially 18, it's definitely comparable. Definitely comparable. And the nice thing about, X-Plane is you've got movement. There's movement over top of that if you choose to do that. So, in any event, I'm very happy with the project. I think it came out great, and just, you know, it makes it so. Oh, the other thing is, before I did ortho, at the higher zoom levels, it was hard to see airports, you know, 10 miles away, say 8 miles away. Now I can find that at like 7 miles away, I can identify runways, and I can see the way a runway is, you know, facing or coordinated, so I can line up to it better. So that's kind of a cool thing. So that definitely adds to the VR factor. So especially in 18, you know, if you got the disk space and you want to do 18, because it takes a lot of disk space, right? Like I said, I did 75 tiles, and it was like, you know, 536 gigabytes. I did Hawaii last night, and that was all. I did Hawaii at zoom level 18, the entire Hawaiian Islands, and I think that was 41 gigabyte. There was 21 tiles, 41 gig. I mean, I still have a lot of space left on my drive, but, you know, that's the kind of things you can do when you've got the big drive. And again, I know I've said it before, but it really does add to the immersion factor when you've got that real world, feel to it. You know, down there, I think that's a solar farm right there. I know we were going to pass a solar farm, and let me just see where. I think it was right by. Yeah, it's by our first waypoint. Ooh, back to the map. There's our first waypoint, which is coming up, and that's a solar farm. So we'll see if we can get a good look at that. Let's see, right down there. Now that would never show up on the regular X-plane scenery. That's purely ortho. So it's got. That's pretty cool, man. It's a massive solar farm. Look at that. Holy shit. Holy schnakies. It's the kind of thing that makes you feel like you're in a real plane, in a real situation. I'm looking out the window, and there's a frickin' solar farm. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just taking it in. It looks really, really cool. Wonder what that cost to build. You know, it'd be cool at some point to see the Tesla factory, the Gigafactory, whatever it is. That would be kind of cool. Now, I read somewhere that, like, birds, like, constantly, like, fly into those things because of the reflection, they think they're flying into the sky, and they have, like, tons of bird kill. There it is. Awesome. Our first waypoint here. Check our frame rates. I think we're getting pretty good. Yeah, 19, 18. You know, listen, it could be better, but in VR, you got to remember, I'm running Oculus Mirror, which sucks the frame rates down a little bit, so you could see what I'm looking at. And I'm also running at a high setting in FlyInside, so that the cockpit and stuff looks clear. So, you know, I'm not going to get 40 frames per second. I could knock everything down and get better frame rates, but I'd rather have the visuals, you know. It's a trade-off. Just incredible. So anyway, that's the Ortho4XP. A lot of lessons learned. A lot of lessons learned. All right, Brendan, take care. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Andy says, the general consensus now appears to be to specify default X-plane level scenery for generating overlays, as is more up to date. And no, I disagree with that, Andy, because the default X-plane 11 scenery is not high definition. At least that's my understanding. I mean, the HD global scenery is, I believe, higher definition. I would double check that, but you could be very well right. But everything that I've read and saw online said you need to use the HD mesh as the baseline. The one thing I wish that X-Plane would do, because, you know, again, as I mentioned, it is complicated to be able to learn how to build ortho, and it takes time. And yes, it's cool because it's customized and you can do areas that you want and all that, but it's not for the average bear, because, you know, the average person that doesn't have like a little bit of technical savvy, you know, can get frustrated pretty quick. And you see a lot of questions of people getting frustrated building out, or you know, high density scenery. I think it's great that the person who wrote Ortho4XP did it. It's an amazing program and it works really well if you once you learn how to use it. But X-Plane, Laminar Research, I should say, knowing that so many people use ortho and it makes the experience so much better in X-Plane, they really should think about somehow getting better, you know, more tightly integrated, or tighter integration, I should say, with Ortho4XP. Somehow make it, you know, maybe work with that developer to use his code and revamp it or integrate it or build an API so that you could, you know, do things so that the average person could experience this without having to go through all the hoops that, you know, we all have to go through to do it, you know. I think that would be really cool if they did that, because it is kind of complicated. It's just like FSEconomy, right? FSEconomy is fun, and it definitely gives you the experience of, you know, or I should say, gives you a reason to fly, if you will, right? Flying people around, making money. It's complicated to get installed, okay? I mean, they even say installing on X-Plane client is extremely complex. It's like a big red note. So the average guy or average person is going to be like, you know, probably get frustrated pretty quickly and never even try FSEconomy, even though they want to try it. Now, I read about this, I found out, well, I don't think it's new, but SimBuddy is one I've been looking into. I want to, because their interface looks much more updated, and I want to see if they've got the same type of interest factor as FSEconomy. But that's one thing. That's one I'm going to be checking out, because hopefully they've solved that problem in making the API and the client implementation easier, because it is very complex with FSE. And the same thing with X-Plane with Ortho. It's complex to do that, right? So if they could somehow figure out a way to integrate and make it easier, I think that would be cool. Because, you know, if everybody flew X-Plane looking at this kind of scenery, people would be blown away. When you fly X-Plane in the default scenery, it's not that, honestly, it's not that impressive. It's okay, but it's very repetitive, right? I mean, if you follow this flight on the way out, all through that farmland in middle America, it's all like the same thing over and over again. Square farms and circle farms, square farms and circle farms. There's no unique, you know, what we're looking at here is 255 miles of actual unique landscape, right? Real world landscape. And that's what makes a difference. That's why Aerofly's, you know, taken them so long to build out their flight sim, because they've got to build out a real world map like you're seeing here, right? X-Planes took the other choice. They said, let's build out a base level map that's kind of repetitive, autogen, and give people the option to build up areas that they want to. I think that's a better way to do it, but it would be cooler. Look at that rock formation down there. That, you could see like it's a granite, like it looks like a granite rock formation. Different shades of granite. That's pretty damn cool. I just wish that X-Plane and the Ortho4XP camp, right, could get closer together to just make it more automated and make it easier. That would be fantastic. because then everybody could enjoy it, you know? Oh, yes, I agree with you. Definitely the overlays in the road. Yes, I totally agree with you. But there are also some other overlays that you can add in that make it better. And you got to be careful with the overlays too, because if you don't do it right, sometimes you get roads on like sides of mountains and stuff like that, which is really, really weird. But yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure I have that set up that way. I'm still toying with it, but I had to make some changes to get. You got to get that scenery config file correct, because it's the order at which X-Plane loads the scenery. That's what I mean. That shit should be all automated, right? I mean, we're living in the world of machine learning and artificial intelligence. That should be all automated. Make it easy, so you don't have to like remember. Like I have a document for when I do ortho, because there's little tricks that I've learned that I'll forget if I don't do it for, let's say, another couple of months, like a month or so. So I've written stuff down because I don't want to forget them, right? Barren desert out here, man. Now I have real-world objects on medium, so you're probably not going to see a lot of that out here, but by the airport you'll definitely see it. And as we get closer into LA, I'm hoping that we'll see that too. All right, let's just check I want to check let's switch the tank to the right tank. I can lean things out here a little bit. We're 170 knot ground speed. It's pretty good, hitting 151, 152. That's nice. That's where I want to be in this plane. Let's give her a zoom here. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, Andy, I found X Organizer as well. I started using it. I've got to figure out, I'm having trouble getting it to read my ortho, but I'll figure that out. But yeah, that's a great tool. That's a great tool, but it doesn't help with the generation side of it, right? It doesn't help with the creation, and that's where people need help, I think, you know? That's where people need help. Wow, looks awesome. Just like a real plane, baby. That's why when you fly in VR, very, very difficult to go back. It's very difficult to go back. Every once in a while, I'll need to make a video for like a screenshot for a video cover or something like that, and I'll fly in 2D because those pictures just come out better for a 2D, thumbnail. It's like you feel like you're blind because you can't turn your head. You're taking off and you can't look around. You feel like you're blind. I know Track IR makes it a little bit better, but there's nothing like landing when you have depth perception, and you have a feel for how high you are off the ground. I've said it 100 times, I'm sure, but that's the difference. And when someone lands using VR and the flight sim, they all say the same thing. That was so easy. It's so much easier to land in VR because you can see everything. And you know where you are. You got that it's not really situational awareness. It's geographical awareness, right? Geo awareness. It's really what it is. You have a feel for where you are in space. I feel like I'm in the upper California desert. I think that's where I am. I feel like I'm flying over that desert, you know? If I just sat here, put on some Pink Floyd, and just really got into the flight, I would eventually feel very immersed in it. I'm talking a lot and describing it, so it makes me, you know, kind of come out of the immersion a little bit, but when you just sit and look at it, it looks amazing. Like that peak over there looks like it's a real freaking peak. Hey, Virus City, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Have I flown a Cirrus in real life? I only wish, man. No. I wish I had. I wish. I've never flown a plane in real life. That's the next step for me. I need to spend more time on Pilot Edge, get my CAT ratings up, get more comfortable real world, you know, simulation real world flying in Pilot Edge. And then I'm going to take a lesson. Place near me, $99 for an introductory lesson. I think it's an hour, maybe it's an hour and a half, I'm not sure. $100. You go for an introductory lesson. Now I have to have the commitment to go for a PPL, right? But, you know, especially the financial commitment. But I'm going to be getting a few books for Christmas that are gonna hopefully, if I spend some time reading and learning more, getting more serious about piloting. And because right now, you know, let's be honest, I'm kind of a half-assed pilot, right? You know, I don't really, even in Pilot Edge, I'm more flying the non-towered airports. I will, you know, I have done, you know, some flights into and out of towered airports, not enough to be comfortable with it. I need to spend more time doing that and get comfortable with flying and, you know, and speaking to ATC. And that's usually the hump you got to get over, you know. It's easy to speak to CTAF in a non-towered airport. I'm like totally comfortable doing that. I mean, I make some bad calls once in a while, but I'm pretty comfortable doing that. It's when you're in a towered airport or you ask for flight following or those kind of things, that's what I have to get my experience up on so I can, you know, start to fly as I think I would if I was flying in real life. And that's the idea. So I'm going to be, my New Year's resolution is to spend more time getting serious about piloting and doing things in a proper way. I try to, you know, do things as best I can, but I've got a lot to learn. So that's my kind of a New Year's resolution. And you're going to see that in the channel too. I'm going to focus my videos more on that stuff, like training. I don't know if you've seen Uncertified Pilot. He's a streamer. He basically started at CAT level 1 in Pilot Edge, went through all the CAT levels, and now he's doing the IFR training. And, you know, it's great because he takes you through what he's done, and he's made mistakes, and you can see his confidence level building over the time. I want to do the same thing. Not necessarily document it the same way that he's done it, because that's kind of like his franchise. But certainly, you know, do some things along the way to let you guys know how I'm doing. I still like the fun stuff like FSE and, you know, flying around Hawaii and stuff like that. You know, I'm into the scenic of it, you know. That's why, you don't see me flying or learn a big iron. Although I would like to be able to fly a A320. It'd be kind of cool to learn how to do that. But I'd rather put my focus into this, which is something that I would be, doing in real life. Now, in Pilot Edge, when I go through the CATs, I'm going to use a Cessna because that's likely the plane I would fly if I was going to fly in real life. I may fly this from time to time, just to do some fun flights in Pilot Edge, but the Cessna is going to give me the training I think that would be able to translate to real life when I get to that point. So anyway, that's kind of like the back of my mind, getting everything set up and ready to go. And with native VR coming for X-Plane 11, that's hopefully going to make things even more immersive with better frame rates and stuff like that for VR. Andy says, with FlyInside, I feel like I'm too far away from the controls other than moving myself. Is there a way to change the default head position within the cockpit? Yeah, there's a centering button. Like here, I'll show you right now. So you can set up a centering button. So right now, if I press the centering button, I'm this far away. All right, and now I can move my head back like this, and then hit the centering button, and now I'm this far away. So you can get yourself closer for sure. And I also have this button here, the head, whatever they call this, the head toggle switch button or whatever, to move me left and right and up and down. So yes, you can definitely do that. You can center. It's let me just look and see what it's called. Oh. Got screwed up there. Hold on. All right, I can adjust this later. But if you go to let me just think about this for a second here. Go to my joystick. Which button is it? It's the 12 button. Yeah, you can map in FlyInside. You can map a button that allows you to recenter. Okay. Check it out. It's like in the bindings menu or something to FlyInside, a recenter button, and that's what you use to get yourself closer. So all you do is move your head back and then hit the recenter button, and you'll move closer to the instrument panel. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Let's see. You gotta try get into I've got to try to get. Yeah, I'm sure it's really amazing. I've watched real world pilots fly it on YouTube all the time, and like Nico. Is it Nico Pilot or Nico? I forget what it is. There's a couple of guys, Cirrus Max. There's a couple of guys that fly Cirrus SR20s and SR22s, and I love watching those. It's pretty cool. Also, why don't you stream on Twitch instead? I'd be a hit. Yeah, well, you know what? I do stream on Twitch from time to time, and all of my subscribers are on YouTube. I've got over 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm actually thinking about doing Restream. This way I can go on both. In fact, that's probably something I'm going to work on shortly. I don't have a big following on Twitch, and I know it takes some time to do that, and I'm hoping to do that. But yeah, I mean, I do have a Twitch channel. It's Bambino Games Live. All right, yeah, I am on there from time to time. But I agree. I mean, I think Twitch is a good way to do it. It's just that I don't get the same amount of people because all people that follow me are on YouTube right now. But maybe Restream You know, there's this software called Restream that can be at both places at the same time. That might help things. So probably what we'll do. Yeah, so Andy, try that trick. It's you can map a recenter button, and just pull your head back and hit the recenter, like this. Now I'm getting very far away, and then I just move myself in like that, and boom, everything's up close. And in the Cessna 172, if you have your Oculus on super sampling, I have mine at 200% all the time because I have a higher end card. I can do that. And you have FlyInside at the the higher rating. I forget which. I always forget the pixel density, but the higher, it's 3,000 something. It's almost like 4K. And you have high graphics on X-Plane. You should be able to sit this far away. I can read everything perfectly from this far away, absolutely perfectly. I mean, some of those colored letters and numbers are a little blurry, but all the white text is completely legible. No problems whatsoever. Just check my EGT here. All right. 129 miles away from LAX. We're almost there, baby. Looking pretty sweet. Yeah, I wanted to see that solar farm. I saw that on the sectional chart. I was like, oh, hopefully that's visible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just taking in the beautiful scenery. It's beautiful. The Virus, if you fly X-Plane, I'm not sure if you've tried this, if you love the Cirrus, and this isn't a commercial. I bought this plane. They didn't give this to me. It's the V-Flight Air SR20. It's really nice. I would not recommend Carenado's SR22. It's a dog for frame rates. I actually owned it, and I returned it. And the G1000, that thing is a piece of crap. The G1000 works. It's there's some functions that don't work, but if you use the terrain radar, which I have, it's a plug-in. You get the terrain on it, and it's very frame rate friendly. This plane's really frame rate friendly. It flies really well, and the nice thing about it is the V-Flight Air guys, Mario, they are constantly upgrading their products, and you don't pay for new versions, right? A couple months ago, maybe towards the end of the summer, they came out with a 2.5 version, which I upgraded to, and it fixed some flight modeling, it fixed some autopilot issues. So they're always trying to make the plane better, and if you like Cirrus, this is the one to fly in X-Plane. It's great. I love it. It's my favorite plane to fly. I also like the the Aerobask Eclipse 550 jet, which I bought like last week. It's a nice plane to fly, really fun to fly. But this is my favorite plane. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, so I mentioned before, I'm running 11.10. He's asking me if I want to upgrade Windows. Yeah, not right now. Remind me in 3 days. You know, a new Windows update means God knows what, right? God knows what. Anyway, X-Plane 11.10 release candidate 2. Just upgraded to it yesterday. I started with the beta at 8, and this is the 3rd release I've added. And a couple things I've noticed: frame rates are better. Much better. I don't know much better, but they're better. Okay. Smoothness better. The micro glitches much better. Much less. The main thing, as I mentioned before when we took off, when I was looking at the ground, when you're on the ground, X-Plane 11.05 and before that had this wobbling thing. So you'd look and the ground would look like it was wobbling. And in VR, it was awful. Awful. That's gone, and that's amazing. The one thing that still remains is cloud shadow flickering. Maybe it's just a VR thing. I haven't looked at it in 2D. I should do that. But when you're in VR and you put clouds on, that's why you see I never have clouds, because you get this, the shadows of the clouds on the ground, you see like a flickering. The shadows flicker, and it gets really, really, really annoying. Even if you're using like the sparse cloud, the first setting, the real sparse clouds, you still get that like shadow flickering. And it's annoying, and I hope they fix that. I really hope they fix that. That's still there. But aside from that, I mean, the G1000, this isn't the Laminar G1000. This is V-Flight Airs. But the G1000 is Cessna, and it's also they have the Cirrus jet. Those are the 2 stock planes that have it, and you can get it in the Tecnam by, who makes the Tecnam? V-Sky, I think that what they are. I think it's V-Sky. It's in that plane. It's a third-party plane, but that thing's pretty damn cool. Laminar Research's G1000 they did a nice job on that for sure. So I could see that expanding out into other third-party planes. So those are big things that are coming in 11.10, and so far so good. The next release, Release Candidate 2 means that they're probably pretty close to having the final GA version of 11.10. So I would expect that maybe sometime next week. I'm guessing, purely guessing, but maybe sometime next week we might see that. And that's good, because that means we're closer to 11.20 beta, which is, they're saying it's going to be native VR. Now, the last talk I saw, I guess it was in the October time frame, that Laminar gave someplace in Europe, I forget where it was. They said that they're planning for that release, the beta release of 11.20, to come out around Christmas. So let's say by end of year, okay? I'm looking forward to that. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to install a separate instance of X-Plane on my system, and that'll be my beta system, and I'm going to have like a very small Ortho setup, like, maybe like 4 tiles, and in the California area or whatever, and I'm going to have a base system, so that way I can test VR there to make sure it's cool before I go and put it on my main system. You can install two instances of X-Plane, so I'm going to be working on that too. Man, I got a lot to do. That's one thing about flight simming with X-Plane. It is kind of for like the nerd, I mean, not that I don't really consider myself a nerd, but I'm like, I got the technical bent, right? Software background. You have all these little things you can do to improve it, and everything you do is like another improvement, which is like, it's satisfying because it's something you did to improve your system, like, you know, the Ortho, or setting up 2 instances so you could have a beta and have the runtime, you know. Little things like that are kind of cool to do. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to set up a beta, and that was actually Belgio's suggestion. Shout out to Belgio. Check his channel. He does a lot of Aerofly FS2 VR flying and DCS flying in VR. Good channel. Check it out. But he suggested having 2 installs, so I'm going to be following his lead on that and installing 2 instances of X-Plane. So when that beta comes out, the day 11.20 beta VR comes out, it'll be loaded and I'll be live streaming it, hopefully, unless I have some schedule conflict. But that's the goal. Really nice mountain peak up there. Not sure what it is, but guessing we got a little 32 miles. I'm guessing that it's not. We're gonna make it a turn before we get to it. Let me see if I can zoom out here. Can I zoom out here? See, this is what's nice about having this. Now I can see. Uh-oh. Not sure if we're high enough. Let me check my C-tab, my sectional chart here. It's 4,000. Oh, that's after return. 10,000. All right, we're almost that. All right, cool. Yeah, okay, that's 10,000. That's a big peak right there. 11,000 feet. All right, we're fine. All right, let's see what we're doing in PSP here. So I'm going to my binders. We don't need this guy anymore. PSP. So we're going to be coming in from the north, 13 right, 13 right. So we're just going to fly straight in there. Now, if I had my confidence up on Class C airports, I would be in Pilot Edge right now, but I don't. So that's where I have to get. I got to get my confidence up. Got to be honest, right? All right, so we're going to be making a right turn up here. Coming up pretty quick. That's an 11,000 foot peak, so 3,000 feet over our heads. We're going to start to get into some really nice terrain. And actually, as we get closer to Palm Springs, we'll start to see the zoom level 18 scenery as we get like 5 kilometers out, which is what, about, is 5 kilometers like 3 miles? I'm trying to remember, let's see. I should know that. 5. Yeah, 3 miles. That's good, good guess. So 3 miles around the airport, we have zoom level 18, which is pretty stunning. And our tanks are even. Looks like, just check the engine parameters here. How we doing on range? We got 340 mile range, so we're fine. We've got 28 gallons left. Started with 40, so we're good. By the way, if you're interested, make sure you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description. If you decide to support the channel at the what I call the ACE level, $10 level, you get your name on this plane right there, Donovan Young, the first Patreon ACE patron, sponsor, if you will. Got his name on the plane, so your name can go next to Donovan's if you choose to sponsor. Not necessary to do that, but any sponsorships through YouTube or through Patreon or whatever goes towards improving the channel. Every dollar that I make from this channel, from advertising, from the ads you see on the YouTube channel, to the Amazon, because I have an Amazon affiliate if you want to buy through Amazon this holiday season, click the link below and shop through Amazon and I get a little piece of that. All that money goes back into things like hard drives and, you know, I got a new yoke planned when the Honey yoke comes out and all these things that I'm doing to improve things. I upgraded to 32 gig of RAM, thinking about getting a new CPU. So all these things that I do come out of the money that is donated and sponsored to the channel. So I appreciate all that. It helps me bring you guys better content. And what I'm really trying to do here is to help people understand how to fly in VR in flight simulation. I know I focus mostly on X-Plane, and I really should be doing more of the others. But you know, that's the whole goal here, is to focus on helping people get into VR flight simulation, and flight simulation in general. So, but I appreciate all the even if it just comes down to, you know, supporting through the ads, I appreciate that. So anyway, thanks for all the support, guys. All right, we should be making our turn up here pretty quick, and then we'll be coming. So I want to actually start to descend here. So let's say, what's my level at PSP is? Oh, it's only 400 or 500 feet. All right, we gotta get down. Set altimeter to 2000.
Altimeter 2920.
No. Set altimeter to standard. Set altimeter to standard. Damn it. Set to standard altimeter.
Speed set to 100.
No, that's not what I want. Well, let me see what the altimeter is at. Standard barometer. Set to standard barometer. Set altimeter to standard barometer.
Altimeter 2992.
Beautiful. 2992. All right, so you got to be careful in plane command to go from altimeter to altitude. Set altitude to 3000. Set altitude to 3000. Damn it. Set altitude to 3000. I don't know why it's not working. But I gotta get down. All right, we're gonna ease back on the throttle a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Donovan. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Air track. Okay. All right, I'll check out AirTrack. Thank you. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I want to get to 3,000 here with just the 2680 before I can get down to 1,000. Or actually, 1,500. So I think it's PSP is what did I say? 500. PSP is 476. So let's call it 1,500. But I'm not going to be entering the pattern here. I'm just going to be landing straight in. So just kind of cheating here a little bit. That mount looks pretty damn cool. Oh, I'm so glad I put this Ortho in, man. It's awesome. Palm Springs right over there, and I can pretty much make out the airport. Right over there. Welcome to the stream, Donovan. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. If you guys are interested, Donovan has a Discord channel, VR Aviators, if you want to check it out. It's affiliated with the VR Aviators group on Facebook, but check that out on Discord, VR Aviators. Some good discussions there. Real-time chat discussion about the subject of virtual reality flight simulation. All right, we better get down quick here. Well, we got 17 miles, so we should be okay. Palm Springs is right out there. I can just make it out. Now we're starting to get into areas. I think it looks like we've got some autogen on top of Ortho, which is what I wanted to see. Yeah, thanks, Donovan. It looks even better from my seat. Let me tell you, it makes VR clearer. Definitely does, especially, obviously, zoom level 18. It's a clearer view, which is great. I mean, I'd love to do 19 if I could, but 19 is just too much. I might do 19 in some areas, believe it or not. I was thinking about doing 19 in some areas, but 18, I did all of Hawaii in 18. It looks incredible. But when you have mountain peaks and stuff like that, that's where you really notice the difference. Did I just hit the camera there? Sorry, guys. Oh, this is nice. There's the airport. I can see it right there, and I can make it out from, how far are we? 9 miles out, I can see the airfield. I could not do that when I was at zoom level 16. So that's 18 that I'm looking at right there, and I can see the runway. The runway at PSP is a little tan. I gotta come down here a lot. All right, I think it's time to take matters into my own hands and pop everybody's ears. Here we go. By the way, I messed with the sound a little bit. I toyed with the sound audio of this, you know, how I'm broadcasting. I wanted to have the music lower in the background. Hopefully you guys can hear that very low in the background. And I wanted to have the engine noise, just, you know, just so you could hear it, so it was, you know, it adds to the immersion factor. Let me know what you guys think of the audio, if you think I could adjust that to make it a little bit better. If the music needs to come up a little bit, if the music needs to come down a little bit, if the engine noises are right there. Wait, I'm really going fast here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle around here. Let's just circle around and slow the plane down. Let's get mixture in. Gas will get on the left tank. Undercarriage is welded, so we don't have to worry about that. Mixture is in, and prop, we don't have to worry about that. Gump. Right now we're good. Look at that, wind farms down there. You can see the windmills. It's pretty cool. Be a great place to have a wind farm. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I mean, from this level, they look like, I know they're two-dimensional, but they look like they're kind of three-dimensional because they have that shadow to them. Yeah, I was just coming in a little bit too high. I wanted to get down a little bit here. So we'll do a straight-in approach to 1-3 right at Palm Springs, the bigger one. It's the tan runway. That's a major wind farm. Man. Massive. This is so real to life. It's like flying in VR for the first time again, believe it or not. It's so vivid. I mean, still, listen, it's still a little blurry, but it's much more clearer than it was. And we're switching scenery right there. That's why it goes in and out of FlyInside. That hopefully will go away with native VR. I hate that. Hate that. Especially if it happens. So like right now, we're looking at 18 zoom level right now. All right, we want to get this plane below 1900, sorry, 119. Come on. All right, now we're at zoom level 18. Slow her down. Alright, here we go. On final approach, we got PSP 3 miles ahead. Look at that scenery. Oh, looks awesome. Alright, we're going to get our trim up a little bit. Plane's starting to slow down. I'm basically gliding right now. Let's put in some flaps. I know that was early to put the flaps in, but I got to get her down. And this runway's got a lot of safety, whatever it is. Now PSP is a standard X-plane airport, and they did a nice job on it. I mean, I'm sure you could buy one that's. I know there's that one guy that has all the Pilot Edge airports. I was thinking about looking into that for $50. But this one's good enough for me. All right, we're at 100. Let's put in the second notch of flaps. Roadways look very cool. What do they call this? What do they call this? The first part of the runway here when you have all... is this like the safety? Oh, I'm going too fast. Stalling the plane. Don't stall the plane. See that? That was terrible. I started to stall the plane there. All right. That wasn't very good. All right, let's get her down now. Wow, this looks so good. Surrounded by the mountains like this, definitely an improvement. No doubt about it. All right, let's shut this baby down. And we're going to finish the flight in FSEconomy. All right, I'm going to have to go and rent this plane again. But let me get her started before I do that. Set parking brake?
Brake set.
All right. Yeah, in FSEconomy, you have to stop the plane to end the flight, which I don't dig that at all. Pitch for speed, yeah, you always tell me that. I know, Donovan. I know. I have to get better at that. Displacement threshold. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got in there safe. All right, let me go to FSEconomy and end this flight, right? So my flight, I gotta go to, so I made $2 grand. All right, so let's go to, we're PSP now, and I gotta rent this plane again. Right. Unfortunately, at PSP, just double check and make sure. Nothing to LA. Nope. Alright. We're not going to make any money. Let's look at my flight. How much gas do I have? 26 gallons. I don't need 40, but I'm just going to put... no, I'm not going to refuel it. I'm not going to refuel it. I have 26 gallons, and we're flying 18 miles, right? So... 7 gallons. I got plenty of gas. Good. Okay. So we'll get FSEconomy going. Yeah, Palm Springs has a really long threshold, so you kind of like have to hold it above. And I think mentally I wanted to like let the throttle down and just ease her down because I had runway, what I had perceived to be runway underneath me, but obviously that wasn't the right thing to do. But anyway, got him down safe, made some money. Let's get off to LA. Here we go. All right, our next leg is already in PSP to Honda. So we actually could, we're gonna take off and we're gonna head to the north now. We're gonna have to get up in elevation. So let me just see how high I want to be here. I'm not gonna, that's a 10,000, 11,000 peak. So I think I could probably fly her at about, I'm gonna go to 5,000, I think. Yeah, we'll fly at 5,000 so the views look good. Set altitude to 5,000. Set altitude to 5,000.
Altitude set to 5,000
You don't know.
feet.
You know what I was doing before? Is I was taking my finger off the button before I finished the whole sentence, which is not a good thing to do. All right, I like to reset the flight director before a new flight like this, a double leg flight. Man, just look around here. It looks incredible. Even like the grain in the concrete. Now you see as I'm looking down there, you can see Donovan, your name's right there. Thanks again for being a Patreon sponsor. It's not wobbling. I'm trying to keep my head still. It's not wobbling. That's so great. I'm so glad they fixed that. All right, here we go. Let's get flaps to first notch, and we're good on gasoline. We got our mixture in. Let's go. Full power. Release the brakes. P factor. A lot of P factor in this plane. Like way too much P factor in this plane. They have to fix that. Looking for 65. See if I can get this. Ooh. Take 75. There we go. I was trying to give you guys a different look there. All right, flaps up. Yeah, we're not going to want to fly over those peaks, but I'm going to try to get up here. You can see we've got a little bit of auto-gen around the airport there, but nothing seems to be overlaying on top of the Ortho, so I think that's something I got to look at. Like, maybe I should see a few real houses down there. I have to look at that. But so far, I mean, everything, look at the baseball fields, high school with a track, or maybe it's a college, but it looks like it's a high school. Check our frame rates. We're kind of low. What can I say? I've got it on high density graphics. I want to see it. So, see that snow peak right up there? That looks pretty cool. You can take off from it, but you can't land on it. Okay, that makes sense. Safety, because if someone's taken off from there, you know, if you're landing, you're not going to hit them. All right, we got the pedal to the metal here. Let me balance the tanks out to the right tank. Just taking in the scenery, guys. Now that looks cool. That is cool. All right, now that's all that's left to do is once we get to LA, I need to find someone who can fly this thing for me in FSEconomy to Honolulu. I posted on the forum, the FSEconomy forum. No one's shown any interest. I'm willing to pay. I asked for bids, but no one's showing any interest. So, anyone interested in flying this thing from LAX to Honolulu, 2,500-mile trip? You're probably going to need a 737 or better. You're going to need the range to do that, and I think it's going to be like 1,000 kilograms, around 1,000 kilograms. So, yeah, you'll need that kind of plane to carry it and fly it that far across the ocean. But that looks really cool. I mean, now we're in, this is all zoom level 17 here. See if we can get some more power out of this baby. Yep, just pulling the mixture back a little bit. So you can sneak right through that little crevice right there. Oh, there we go. Fly inside jitters. There we go. Check that out. That's a picture right there. As good as Aerofly right there. As good as Aerofly. Oh, I know. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I was watching a stream the other day. It was, who was it? Val Dude. Really good streamer. Check him out on Twitch. He was flying a Bell 429 helicopter around New York City. It was really cool to watch. And I found out that this Bell 29 helicopter is free. Downloaded it on X-Plane, or some X-Plane.org. Set up my controls to properly, control it. After a few crashes, I'm starting to get the hang of flying it with the collective and all that. It looks amazing in VR, and it's free, and it's been free for a while. So I'm planning on doing I want to work with it a little bit more. Get myself on my GPS track here. right, let's turn the autopilot on. This is one thing I don't like about this autopilot. Like, it's not going to. Here, let me just do this. Set altitude to 5,000.
Altitude set to 5,000 feet.
All right, we're going to go down here to 5,000. So yeah, so the Bell 429 Global something helicopter on X-Plane.org. It's free download. Works with X-Plane 11. Great frame rates, great functionality, really cool in VR. I'm going to be working with it a little bit to improve my chopper skills, and I'll probably be doing a VR review video of it, so you guys can. You know, we could talk about, actually, I don't want to go to 5,000, do I? Set altitude to 6,000.
Altitude set to 6,000 feet.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I started to get the hang of it. It's not easy flying a helicopter. It takes some, you know, it takes some practice. But starting to get the hang of it, and but it's really fun. It really is fun. It's more to give you a longer runway for takeoff. Okay, hot climates, density, altitude makes your takeoff much longer, especially in the big birds. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, it looks amazing. The scenery looks amazing from here. I'll tell you, this is really, really cool. But Mike, I could tell the frame rates are pretty low right now. Let's just see. Yeah, 13. That's because we're starting to get into a lot denser area with probably a lot more autogen. And I have my real world objects on medium. So, you know, I've got a lot of factors here that are causing us to move kind of slow, but that's all right. What can you do? Still looks cool. So yeah, it was fun flying that chopper, and I've got the T1600M stick, which makes it nice, and that's one of the reasons why I bought it. So I'm going to be spending a little bit more time learning how to fly that. I don't want to take away from the pilot training that I want to focus on, but it's just fun to fly the chopper. Just a lot of fun. Something new to learn. Is that Warner Springs over there? It might be. It looks like Warner Springs, maybe. It's got that lake. Yeah, I think that's Warner Springs. Yeah, that's where I go gliding. It's right there. The airport's right there. Let me see. So, if we took off here... Banning. No, it looks like it's Hemet Ryan. Okay. I thought it was Winter Springs. Oh well. Actually, Plane Command, Brendan, I'll prove you in a second for that. Plane Command is they have a free version that you can get, but they also have a paid version. It's like $20. Free version just gets you some basic stuff, but I recommend using getting Plane Command. Yeah, this is not the X-Plane VR. This is I'm using FlyInside. The VR version doesn't come out until probably towards the end of the year. All right, Brendan, I just approved you, so you're part of the Aviators group. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, FlyInside has add-on software for X-Plane 11. They have add-on software for FSX and also for P3D. And a lot of people say that the FlyInside VR is better than P3D's own version, because they have native VR in P3D version 4, but apparently FlyInside's version is better. French Valley's around here somewhere. I think that's over there. I fly a lot in French Valley. Let me just figure out if I can pick out French Valley. Yeah, it's hard to figure out if we don't know where we are on the moving map, but I know we're near French Valley. Oops. The rate's got a little bit better there. Pretty cool. Set altitude to 5,000.
Altitude set to 5,000 feet.
Wow, just awesome. Looks awesome. Knife, how you doing? Hey, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. No, I don't use a SideTech yoke. I use a CH Products yoke. Lyric Wolf says hi. Hey, Lyric Wolf, how you doing? Yeah, this is a CH Products yoke, which I like a lot, actually. There's a new yoke coming out towards apparently end of the year. Honeycomb. It's one I've been following. It looks very cool. I never used it, but it looks very cool. It's got a metal. It's a metal shafted yoke, and it looks like it's the yoke itself is like very interesting. Like, looks like it's well made. California company. So looking forward to getting that. Checking that out. Check out those homes down there, man. California row homes. Flying right over this airport, which we normally would definitely not do. Look at all the airports in California. There are so many airports. That's why this is all, most of this is Ortho 18, because there's so many airports. Look at that. Look at all those airports all over the place. And anywhere that there was an airport, I put Ortho 18 in. So this is all Ortho 18 down there. See that? Looks like that house down there, or that building. I can't wait to see what Catalina looks like. That'll be cool. But it's so much better than it was in 16. It makes a difference in VR, guys. If you've got the money or if you've got the space to do Ortho, even if you just do a small little piece on your map, like 4 tiles or something, I recommend zoom level 17 as your base and zoom level 18 5 kilometers around the airports. Wow. We're leveling off at 5,000 here. We don't have any obstacles in the way, so we could probably go down to 4,000, but I think 5's good to see everything. Wow, it looks awesome. It looks freaking awesome. This is what flight simulation should be like. Oh, man. Because, you know, when you get to 5,000 feet, you lose the fact that everything is flat because it's got shadowing on it and stuff in the satellite pictures. So they look like they're three-dimensional. I mean, even though they're not, it still looks like it's three-dimensional. Like those buildings, they look like they're three-dimensional, which is incredible. And, you know, overlaying the Ortho on top of the X-plane and the mesh mountains gives you that, you know, that depth and the height of the mountains themselves. So, yeah, Knife. Check out Bambino Games on Discord. I do. If you check that out, I'll let you know. I'll let you into that. Actually, I think there's a link in the description for Discord as well, if you want to check that. You can even see people's swimming pools. That's awesome. All right, what are we doing time-wise, or distance-wise? 51 miles from KLAX. Look at all those airports. There's so many airports in California. That's why ZLA is a great place to have a base for Pilot Edge, because there are so many places you can fly to. And just in that area, for $20 a month, you can get live ATC and fly at, you know, literally 20 airports, I think. And then even more non-towered, right? All the non-towered. Because most of those you see on the map are non-towered airports. All right, let's get over to our left tank. You can see right tank is coming down to the yellow, so we're going to switch over to the left tank. Just check our... Got everything. We're burning 14 an hour. Getting good power, optimum power. Beautiful. It was a long journey from Pennsylvania. Took 9 episodes. I guess it was probably about, well, it was 2,600 miles, I think, I flew. And most of that was flatland, generic X-plane scenery, which, you know, was really, really boring. And now as you get into this, it's just sit back and enjoy it, man. It's awesome. Take a look outside. I love this plane. Doesn't that plane look cool? It just has great lines to it. Although in retrospect, I think I should have done it in a darker blue. But that's okay. Maybe I'll do another one someday. So tonight I'm going to be running Ortho for the British Virgin Islands, I think. Or maybe I'll do, yeah, British Virgin Islands, because I want to fly like Princess Juliana and St. Bart's and all those areas. So that shouldn't be too much. I'm going to do 18 for that. So I'm going to build that out. And then I also added, for Colin, I don't know if Colin's watching. Colin's always watching the stream, but maybe he's not on right now. I added Europe to my X-plane scenery, so I'm going to be doing parts of the UK in Ortho over time and start to fly in the UK a little bit more, just to kind of learn that area a little bit. Be kind of cool to do. Mesmerized by the scenery. All right, we're at 5,000. We're 40 miles out. I could probably come down to 4,000. Set altitude to 4,000.
Altitude set to 4,000 feet.
Let's do our vertical speed. Let's adjust the throttle a little bit. But at this height, everything seems to have depth, even though it's a flat satellite image. Everything seems to have depth, which is astounding. Of course, this is all, like over there, that's all 18. There's an airport right there. I don't know what airport that is. But it's a pretty big one. I'm surprised that there's no, maybe there is Autogen. I don't see any buildings and stuff there. I'm surprised X-Plane doesn't have that one built out. Now, LAX, I have Mr. X scenery, I believe, so that should be kind of cool. $38 miles from the end of our journey. Well, the end of our journey is Honolulu, but got to get someone to take the plane over there. There's the fly inside shuffle there. Come on, get back in the simulator. There you go. Thanks, Knife. I appreciate that. Yeah, I bought this aircraft. This is the V-Flight Air SR20. It was like 35 bucks, I think I paid for it. It's well worth it. It's my favorite plane. Yeah, I want to go fast. So yeah, I could definitely pull back the mixture back a little bit. I'm burning 9 gallons an hour. I'm burning 9 gallons now, which is fine. But I want to get there kind of quick. Seeing this makes me realize I don't even have a graphics card. Yeah, I'm using a 1080 Ti. It's a pretty powerful graphics card, but X-Plane is really CPU centric right now, so they're going to be changing their graphics API next year to make it even better. But yeah, you need a pretty powerful card. I mean, X-Plane, the sweet spot's like a 1070. But yeah, you need a pretty powerful card. Invisible Flight Pro landing. Sorry, Invinite Flight Pro landings. Thanks for joining. Who's doing follow for follow? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, bro. All right, 4,000. Let's get down to 3,000. Set altitude to 3,000.
Altitude set to 3,000 feet.
Yeah, so guys, if you like what you see in the content, hit that subscribe button, and there's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button, or somewhere around there. Make sure you hit the bell icon, and you'll get a notification via email when I'm streaming on YouTube, or if I put up a new video. I am planning on linking, or using like a way to stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, because, you know, I've got people, most of the people that watch that are interested are on YouTube with 9,000 subscribers, but I'd like to be more on Twitch too, so I'm planning on doing that. So yeah, but hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter, Bambino Games, and that's a good way to find out what the hell's going on with the channel and stuff. But the next step in this flight is going, or this series, episode 10, is going to be the final episode where this plane hopefully ends up in Honolulu once I find someone to ship it there. So if you know somebody on FSEconomy that's got a plane, probably 737 or better, that wants to take on a job of flying a 1,000-kilogram crate from LAX to Honolulu, tell them to message me or email me. And I put, like I said, I've got a, I have a post up on the FSEconomy forum, so just message me there or link there, whatever, you know, let me know what you would charge. I'm looking for bidders, and hopefully I can get that done fairly soon, because I can't wait to fly this plane in FSEconomy in Hawaii. That's the whole idea of this, to get the first SR20 in Hawaii, and the only SR20 in Hawaii, which would be pretty cool. The detail is incredible here, just incredible. Flying at 3,000 feet, even at 3,000 it looks great. Higher up the better, but even the 3,000 it looks pretty cool. All right, so we got 22 miles outside of LA. Yeah, if you want to go over on Twitch, there's a link in the description to my Twitch channel. And just go over there and follow me on there, too. Because, like I said, I'm going to be doing some more Twitch stuff. And I got some... Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. So, just reminded me. 10,000 subscriber milestones coming up. Probably in about a month, I guess. Somewhere around there, hopefully. Maybe sooner. That's a big milestone for any channel. And I'm planning on celebrating that with some giveaways. I've got some things in the works with some really generous sponsors that are going to be offering up some pretty cool giveaways that we're going to be doing as part of that. So it's not just going to be one thing. I'm hoping to be multiple things that we'll be giving away, multiple winners, and should be fun. So that's the goal. That's the plan, and like I said, it'd probably be, I guess, around towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, is when we'll be doing that. So the sooner I get to 10,000 subscribers, the better. After I hit the mark is when I'm going to be doing the giveaways, and I'll give you a little sneak peek. The one thing that we've got that we're definitely going to be giving away is a version of X-Plane XP Realistic, which is the add-on that allows you to do realistic sounds. The engine sounds you hear are part of X-Plane Realistic. Flap sounds, environment sounds, also head bobbing, a lot of other things. It's a pretty cool application, like a $20 application. I'm going to be giving away, I think, 2 copies of that. And I've got a couple of other sponsors that I'm talking to right now to get them in the mix, so should be a cool giveaway. Hey! Someone just subscribed. Actually, someone just followed me on Twitch. That's what that means. Yeah, 10K. It's a big milestone. It's taken quite a long time. But definitely, recently, with the stuff that I've been doing with VR flight simulation, has accelerated the channel, which is really good, because that means most of the people that watch are interested in this kind of stuff. I had a little bit of a shift there when I was doing the thing with Gold Rush, but I gotta tell you, that got real boring real quick. So no more of that crap. All right, 16 miles from LA. Yeah, I mean, I like Gold Rush. It's a fun game, but it's got too many limitations, and it's just digging, and it's kind of boring. So I'd rather fly, and that's what we're going to be doing. And I can see the airport complex right up there. Let's go see. Let's just see. I haven't zoomed in yet. Let's try to zoom in and see what 18 looks like. Oh, wow. There's the, you can see that block right there. That's the 18 compared to the 17. Look at that. So the 17 looks a little fuzzy from this distance, but the 18, you can see runway already. From 16 miles out. That's awesome. Maybe I need to go further than 5 nautical miles, but that's going to take up a lot of space. I'm happy with the way it is. I'm not going to go back and do it again. It's fine the way it is. Yeah, I don't have the X-Plane overlays of the traffic and stuff for some reason. They're going to figure that out. What's going on with that? Alright, here we go. We're making our turn into LAX. We've got 11 miles out. I can make out the runways, but we're gonna land. Which one we want to land on? All right, let's start. Let's time to hand fly this baby. Get myself situated here. All right, let's go. Here we go. Off autopilot. Let's get the mixture in. Tank to the left tank. Start to slow the plane down. Check our frame rates. All right, 18. Not bad. Not bad. Considering, right? I've got everything on like super high, so I mean it should be better than that. You want 20 frames or better. And hopefully we'll get there. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to get the moving traffic on top, although I do like the way those roadways look better than the X-Plane roadways. So I'm not too anxious to All right, so gas is on the left tank. They're both about the same. Undercarriage is welded. Mixture is in and prop. We don't have control over that, so that's our gump. I want to get to 119 and put the first notch of flaps in. We're 5 miles out. Easily see the runway. Nose up, decelerate the plane. All right, first notch of flaps. Yeah, you can see where the 17 ends and the 18 begins right there. It's a pretty clear line of definition. 3 kilometers. I guess it would be, I thought it would be a circle, but it's actually a square around the airport. Sorry, 5 kilometers. So it's 3 miles from the center of the airport to the edges of that square. So that's a 5 kilometer square right there. Second notch of flaps. Big airport, LAX. Is it the busiest in the world? One of the busiest, probably top 5, if not the. Let's not stall the plane. Taking in the beauty. So that's what I do. I'm taking in all the sights, and I start to fly too slow. Long trip from Pennsylvania, that's for sure. That's the only thing I don't like about this plane is the sound of the brakes. All right, it was a long-ass journey, but we're finally here. Probably about, well, I would say at least 18, 20 hours of flying, maybe 18 hours of flying. I don't know where GA is here. Probably should have gone to the left, but I'm just going to park over here. There's a Delta. Over here with the big boys. There's the tower right there. All right, we'll just stop right here. I know I would never do this, but got a nice set parking brake.
Brakes set.
Got a nice view here, some nice planes and stuff. All right, let's get this guy off here. All right, shut down, baby. Come on. Why does this mouse stick like that? That's a fly inside thing. All right, we'll leave it right there. There you go. All right, so let's see. Let me end the flight here. So this FSEconomy knows that we're in LA. Beautiful. Yeah, not a bad landing. I appreciate that. Yeah, you thought the gold rush, Donovan, you thought the gold rush would get boring. It did get boring. I mean, it could be a really good game if they had multiplayer, or they had the ability to have, like, drones operate trucks. It would be much more interesting, and it's just, there's no point to it. Like, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's a point to it, but it's too limiting. So, I love the thought of gold mining, and it's fun to play once in a while, but it's not anything to base a channel on. So, anyway. Well, I appreciate the thoughts on the landing there. Number 4, okay. 80 million passengers in 2016. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, I floated a little bit there because in this plane, what you're doing is you're coming in and you're making sure you're flaring the plane out. Got your trim up a little, nose up a little bit. And then when you get, you know, like 10 feet or 8 feet above the runway or so, you're just knocking the throttle down at like 65 knots. You're just knocking the throttle all the way back, and you just let her float right down. Atlanta's #1. Wow, 104 million passengers. Holy crap, that's huge. Well, anyway, we made it to LA, man. And like I said, it was a long trip. I guess it was probably about 2,500 miles, something like that. Probably about 18 hours of flying, and it never added up. I'm just estimating that. And we're here at LAX. So, next step is to get this beautiful plane crated up and shipped off to Hawaii, and that's what we'll be doing next. And I got to find someone that can do it for me. But now that we're here, we can do it. So, anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. It was a long stream. Thanks for everybody participating in the chat. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And yeah, next stop, Honolulu, which I've never been to Honolulu, but I've been to Maui. So one of the first flights we'll do once I get this plane there is we're going to fly to the Kaanapali Shores, which is a beautiful area where all the beautiful hotels are and great golf courses and stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's the next stop, Honolulu, but I got to get someone to take it there. So guys, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, please. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon, and you'll get notification when I'm streaming or when I put up a video. And again, I really do appreciate all the support, and I appreciate you guys watching. So have a great day, guys.